You're going to say no one could stop you. I get that. But who's the one guy that you feel, man, when this guy guards me, he makes it tougher for me to score? Is there one guy that sticks out?
No, it's just mainly team defense for me. Most people have been doubling, and when I have the ISO, everybody load up so I can get the ball in my hands. So it's not really.
So the answer is nobody.
No, it's nobody, but it's really individual. I mean, it's really team defense, but
yeah.
Honestly, I think the practice is harder, So I feel like my guys in here defend me better. So, that's it.
I like.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Saint. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at NetsKingdom1. Also, we have articles dropping on netskingdom.net. Cypher just dropped really good articles on the Nets preseason conference with Jordy and Sean. We're so close to 19K, so get us to 19K. We're about a few subscribers away from 19K, so make sure you guys share and support. We are here to talk about Media Day, man. Media Day, man. It's always fun covering Media Day, but it's kind of like deja vu, like we were saying before. It's deja vu all over again.
Yeah, was that shit pre-recorded?
Yeah, exactly.
Did they just cut up past years? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's just like the Sean Marks, the scripted answers, man. But let's get into it. Well, first I want to talk about Jordy Fernandez, the first year head coach, because I think that's important. We got to hear what Jordy's style of play is going to be. But I have a clip here where he's talking about basically how he's going to use Nick and Cam Thomas. So I'll play a little bit of that clip right here.
The goals we have for him on both ends of the floor, but most importantly, how he's grown with us right now. He's a grown-up. He's one of the veterans. If you think about here how young he was, and now he's going to be the one leading by example with his other younger guys.
Another one of those original Nets, Cam Thomas, who's a terrific player, talented. There's going to be nights where you're probably going to think, why did I get into coaching? There'll be other nights he'll put a big smile on your face. Last year, he did a much better job as a playmaker. What's kind of the next step for Cam Thomas?
Yeah, I think playing off the ball, right? Like we all know that the less dribbles he takes, the more efficient he is. Playing out of 1-2 dribbles or catch and shoot, he is very dangerous for other teams. His playmaking ability, like you said, has gotten better. So getting him engaged, not just when the ball is in his hands, but also we're preaching ball movement and playing fast in the half court. And I believe Cam Thomas can be a big part of it, same as the defensive end.
Yeah, so basically Jordy was possibly saying, like, Jordy wants to play fast. He wants to play up-tempo basketball, kick it out. He was basically explaining about Cam, that he wants Cam to take like less dribbles because he's more efficient. He wants Cam to play more off the ball and play make. What's your views on that, Saint, like about how he's going to use Cam now? Like, what do you think? What do you want to see from Cam this year going into the season, bro?
I mean, it's kind of like I said, play the tape. It's the same thing, right? Like obviously he's going to get a lot more shots this year, which is good for his development. But isn't that been the conversation all along? Like it hasn't been the scoring, right? Like we know what his scoring is, but it's doing the other things efficiently. And even in Cam's words, like he says, that's what I need to work on. So to me, it's just, you can tell if they don't have scripted, you can tell they've talked to each other. They're clearly on the same page.
Yeah.
The energy from Cam and some of the other younger guys is completely different. Because they know they're in a driver's seat, him and Claxton especially.
For sure. Like with Cam, right? Because it's like with Cam, we know Cam's going to score. We know he's a bucket, but it's just doing the other things. The defense, like I'm looking for this year from Cam, a little bit more effort on defense. I'm looking for efficient, like coming off the ball, shooting off the ball more instead of just, shot creating, because, he's the best shot creator we have. And then I'm looking for the playmaking. I want to see at least 4 or 5 assists from Cam, which I think he can do because he's going to get double teamed.
What I'd really like to see is that drive and kick from him, because he has the speed, and we've seen him be able to get to the bucket. And it's like, but sometimes because of his height and like he doesn't have the craziest vertical, sometimes he does get snuffed. But I would like to see a little bit more awareness.
Yeah.
Like who does it well? Schroeder, right? Doesn't Dennis do that pretty well? Yeah. Like he has, I would like to see a little bit more of that, because he can, like, as I was trying to think, I'm sure you'll play the clip. I'll save it for that clip. And if you don't, let me know. I'll tell you what I was thinking about Cam.
Last thing on Cam before we move on, like, what do you think about the Cam's extension? Because we heard Sean Marks talk about like we haven't gone all the way there yet, but we're having talks about it. Some people say that we should pay Cam now before he goes crazy during the year, and some people are saying no, we should wait because we're gonna have so much cap space, it doesn't really matter. But Cam's value could jump up. Do you see Cam being worth a lot, like 30 mil? What do you think Cam's worth is in this season? Do you think Cam's worth is going to be at if we don't pay him and we wait till next year? I guess
the gamble is you could go either way with it, right? Like you approach Cam and his agent, and it's like, what's their set? What if they come at a price where they're just like, no, this is what we want, and we're not going to budge from it. And the Nets are like, yeah, no, we're not giving to you that right now, because they might be thinking, hey, we need to see a little bit more, right? Because that's the language you keep hearing. Everybody's being evaluated. Nobody has an earned spot, right? Didn't they just put that out? Like,
Tony said that. Yep.
So it's like, unless it's like they both meet and they're like, this is a huge respectable number both ways, and they agree, cool. But I just have a feeling that's not going to happen. I hopefully I'm wrong, because it would be nice to lock him up. But the other side of it is that if you don't, and he goes out and he just has a ridiculous season, and you go back to negotiations, and this time he's like, yeah, bro, like,
I just averaged 30 and 8 assists.
You're giving me what I want and more. Like, that's all. And then also the aspect from a player standpoint, you don't take a deal. You also, like, some people don't like running the risk of getting injured and not having something set up for the next year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's a gamble. There's a pro and a positive for either the team or the player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great talk. Next, I want to talk about, Ben Simmons before we get into it. Because, Ben Simmons, it's like we do this how long have we been doing this? 3 years now? Like, Ben Simmons, it's just like it's a bad Groundhog Day with Ben Simmons.
I will say his energy seems a little bit more this year.
Yeah. He's like, because there's sometimes we got the braggadocious Ben last year. I'm gonna be watch when I come out, and now it's like the more like settled, like, okay, I'm here. I'm just gonna try to be healthy kind of Ben, So with Ben, he did talk about like he wants to be healthy, and I think it was a very interesting question. Frank Isola asked him, "How long do you want to play?" And he's basically said, "As long as I'm healthy, I want to be out there and being competitive. I don't want to be one of those guys." Ironically, he said, "I don't want to be one of those guys that plays through injuries year after year." But it's like that's what you're doing right now.
Bro, like, until you actually do something opposite of that, that's who you are.
Yeah. So with Ben, I think Jody basically said that he wants to play he wants to play fast, and Ben is going to be key to that. And we know when Ben is at full strength, healthy, he could make this team better. But I hate to ask you though, bro, but what is your thoughts on Ben Simmons media day, and basically what are your expectations?
Ben who? I have zero expectations, right? Like, we've talked about this till beat it to death, right? Like, we've heard the same things even after season. And listen, I get it. Like, when you do have lower back injury, like, I'm still going through it. I went in for another MRI, right? Like, I'm not an athlete, but like, when you do have lower back issues, man, that stuff can take a while for it to work out. And let's be honest, it's never 100%. Like, you never get back that 100% that you had, but can he stay healthy? That's the key, right? Like, and outside of that, like, I mean, dude, it's your guy. You know what I mean? You're like asking me, like,
he could. It's like he could make us better. That's the thing. Like,
yes,
Ben
of
at full
course he
strength
can
to make us
better. But
yeah.
Is it going to, like, how long is he going to make us better for? Is the better question.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like Ben Simmons cycle,
Yeah. Like, are we in for the same thing, or are we going to finally get to see a new healthy Ben? And if he's healthy, we know what he can do. I just think though that I wonder what parts of his game may change in order to stay healthier long term. Like, because he can't be going out there going crazy. I know he wants to, and everybody wants to, but I just have a feeling he's going to have to be smarter. Than trying to be like a wrecking crew. Just like be smart, concentrate on the pass. Like another person to dish it. Like
the first,
look, you know.
I was gonna say the first thing I'm looking for Ben is if he gets past 30 games. That's the first thing. If he gets past 30 games, then I'll start saying, okay, we getting something here. Then I'll start watching. Okay, is he shooting more? Is he being more confident? Is he being, getting to the rim more? That's when I'll start looking at the development part of it, or like him actually playing well. But I just want to see him get past 30 games or 20 games at least. That's what I'm looking for, really, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, and that's the question though, is like what, because then you start having the questions of who's the actual starting lineup going to be.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
it depends. Like, I obviously CJ will start, right?
Well, hopefully, yeah. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
I just get the feeling. Well, you know what? I have a feeling CJ and Cam Thomas will be starting, and that's pretty much going to be like your shooters.
Yeah, my predicted starting lineup is probably going to be. All right, Cam.
Dude, get McCall off. Hey, take McCall off. That's
here we go. All right. Cam, Nick. Noah, maybe Noah. Do you think Noah's gonna be at the 4 or DFS? I think Noah could win that 4 instead of DFS. I think DFS can come off the bench, in my opinion. But I think it's gonna be Cam, Nick, Noah, CJ, and then that 5th person, and then maybe Dennis at the point.
Well, I guess we'll find out like whether the true statement of like nobody has a guaranteed spot. Like you're gonna have to earn it just to be starting. So whether that's true or not, we'll find out. But for me with DFS, I wouldn't mind if he came off the bench. He should. Like he can still show what he's got. Like, because let's be honest, if a team trades for him, they're not trading him for as a starter.
Yeah, I agree.
They're most likely trading him for a bench guy that is like, oh, great, hey, we know what this dude can do.
Yeah,
and he's one of the players that you would trade. He's probably, I don't know what's the comparison. I forgot what Schroeder's getting paid, but.
Well, DFS is probably. I think he's getting around like 8 to maybe like 8 or 9 mil.
Let me look that up.
And maybe 10 mil. I think, or maybe I'm sorry, maybe 13 mil. I went way too low.
I was thinking 13, but
he's getting 13 mil. I'm sorry, 13 mil. Yeah. Because DFS, it's just interesting when Sean's going to make that move for the trade when the trade value is going to be high. Because I know he wants to play CJ and DFS to get their value up. So it's just going to be interesting when. Yeah,
and you can't tell me at the trade deadline if somebody has enough money to make a move like that. It's not going to cost them a lot to get DFS.
Oh no, it's not.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the good. I think Marks ran that. Should have traded the man a long time ago. His value and what we could have got back from him would have been so much better. But you have to wait. You have to wait, and hopefully he plays well. That's why I was saying keep him on the bench, keep him healthy, let him come in. And get some decent numbers and then trade his ass.
All right, last before we get out of here, I want to talk about Sean Marks, man. So
there's a couple. Time out though, AJ. Yeah. Before you go to that, remember Cam Thomas was talking about his defense. And it's true. Like, but he said who can guard him 1-on-1, and he's like nobody. And I tried thinking like. Was there anybody last year that we can remember that? Like, I know there was a couple plays. Like, who really do you think maybe
guards
gave him
Cam? To be honest, and I'm being really honest here, like
was it Holiday on the Celtics?
I haven't seen anybody really give Cam like a run for his money on the defense. Like what the way to like
a consistent amount of time, like
like maybe like 1 or 2 possessions they'll play good defense on Cam, but it's never like consistently lock him up. The way like Cam really gets locked up is he shoots himself out the game. Like if he's having a bad game and he's playing awful, that's the way Cam gets locked up. Or if they double coverage, the double coverage. The double
other
coverage.
Time I've seen is if he goes way too under the hoop, sometimes it don't work out.
Yeah, like I really can't think of somebody that's really locked Cam, which is crazy. He's really tough to guard, man. Like we've heard Paul George, like some of these LeBron, these guys are saying like Cam is tough, like he's just gonna score.
I know we saw a couple because I do remember games where people would tweet and then the Cam Thomas war would start. Like it does have, and I think what'll be interesting is. I'm hoping he should be like there should be zero conversation about him not like he should be starting from beginning the season to end, right? Like So it'll be interesting to see that, and maybe what develops now that he will have a starter role. We can start seeing potential nemesis, this guy plays Cam real well, and
now we'll see who can really lock him up. Yeah, because he's gonna be the star of the team, sort of say, you know what I'm saying? So he's gonna be the number one target. So we're gonna see these different defensive matchups. Coaches, the first thing they think of the Nets, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we got to stop Cam." That's gonna be the thing. You know what I'm saying?
And I think he did a hell of a job last year about getting out of double teams. So I expect that to be even better. You tie it into what Jordy said, and then you could tie this into what you're going to end, where it's just a lot of off the ball movement, more efficient. So I think he just wants to improve on that. But
now last thing with Sean. So Cam I'm gonna read this quote from Scotto because Cam Thomas said on Sean Marks evaluating the Brooklyn Nets and Cam's future. This is what Cam said. He said he's looking for pieces to build. He's talking about Sean here. He's looking for pieces to build with, but at the same time, I feel like I really have nothing to prove. I've proven myself countless times in my tenure here. If there's still any more proving to do, then I don't really know what to say. I'm going to go out there, play the best I can play, and help the team with as much as we can. Then Cam Johnson, CJ, spoke on Sean Marks. He said, the conversations from my point, without going into deep, it was just letting him know that I understand the business first and foremost. For me, I said there's never had any feeling on anything that happens. I like Sean a lot, and I appreciate Sean a lot. That won't change if I was traded 2 months ago, 2 months from now, and if I remain in net the rest of my career. I really appreciate Sean. After that, it's just let me know what's going on. I like to be in the loop of what can happen and what he's thinking, and that's that. So very interesting from CJ there and CT basically explaining their thoughts on Sean. CJ's basically saying, yo, Sean, I don't care if you trade me here, trade me there, as long as you keep me in the loop, that's all I want. And then CT's basically saying, look, Sean, I got nothing to prove. When it's time to get my money, you know what to do.
I mean, dude, the energy around that statement lets you know that there was an issue. If you really read his response and kind of read into it and just catch the vibe of it, you could tell there was some miscommunication. And I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I don't care to do the battle of who gets along and who doesn't, and at what point. It was obvious. You know what I mean? The DFS issue, it was obvious. It was obvious CJ was miserable. It was obvious Macau was miserable. Right? Whether you want to put that all in Sean's hands or just, CJ and Macau were depressed the second they got traded here. And I don't think that changed, right? The whole season.
Because with Sean, it's with Sean, it's he's going to build this team. We know what our goal is, the rebuild is. So it's every Nets fan that's watching this and every Nets fan on Twitter is okay, when is Sean going to do the trade? Because we have to get worse. We know what our goal is. Our goal is that number one draft pick, Cooper Flag. We have to get worse. That should
be our shit. That should be. I mean, if you're going to trade all your shit back, you're going to trade to get your picks back for the next 2. Yeah,
exactly.
I would hope.
So I'm looking for Sean to make this team probably. If you see our team being too good, you might have to make the trade sooner because it's you want this team to be in the bottom of the East or the bottom of the NBA so we can get up in there and get in that draft. So, go ahead, though.
No, I mean, I've seen a couple people. I was thinking it, then I hopped on Twitter and I saw a couple people. I think DJ was one of them where it was just it's all PR, man. You can't tell me that these guys are going to look to improve the team in the second half, right? We know it's at stake. And I think on some level, actually not some level, a lot, maybe I'll throw Ben in there. Screw it. I'll throw Ben in there. It's they're trying to have Schroeder, CJ, DFS, and Ben Simmons all, and me. I don't even know how much we're going to get a Bojan. That'll be interesting to see if he gets bought out or what. That wouldn't surprise me. Why would he want to come back to this? Yeah.
We need to get him. We need to get him traded fast. Bojan.
Yeah. So I'm just saying there's a bunch of guys that shouldn't be there past the deadline. And, obviously they're not just going to let him wallow on the bench to keep him healthy. I would think that. But I think most people had the impression that everybody on the floor for the team next year was just going to be this young guy, right? I want to say no-namers, but everybody would be young. And it's hey, that way you could guarantee it. But let's take it back to, remember during the summer league when he gave that interview about having some veterans on the team, and he pretty much said, hey, all these guys are going to be here to start the season. And when I tweeted that, people are like, no, this and that. Like maybe I'm sure they were probably still trying to trade. I mean, you just saw Towns get traded to the Knicks, so like anything's possible. But I mean, he pretty much told you then in summer league that like these guys are going to be here to start the season. He really didn't give much information past that. But dude, it's a tryout. These guys are gone. If somebody wants them, they're gonna get rid of them, because that's the only way you could even pretend to hide the tank. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna say the right things. Everybody's gonna say they want to win. We're not gonna like, again, why would you even say that if you weren't?
Yeah,
like,
they got to say the correct answer. We all know what we're trying to lose and we're trying to tank, but they're going to say, the media correct. I mean, the players should say.
Yeah. Did you hear the reporter come out? Hey, are you guys going to lose every game next year to get the first get Cooper Flag? Like, you've heard nobody ask that question, but you're giving an answer that basically says, "Oh yeah, we're not going to lose. We're going to win every game." Like,
exactly.
Every game. So it's all PR, bro.
Yeah. Last thing before we get out of here, though, because it was with Sean, like before the season started, I wanted Sean to just keep Dennis as our main vet and then get rid of all these other guys. But it was interesting with CJ's quote there about saying, yo, listen, Sean, all I want to be is keep me in the loop. And it's funny because Cat just got traded. When Cat got traded, they didn't let him know at all. He was there at Minnesota for like a decade.
Wasn't he? There's a picture of him shooting practice.
Yeah, he was shooting at the facility.
Like hours before he got traded.
So it's interesting seeing CJ's quote today about that. Like, yo, Sean, I want to be left, keep me in the loop. Talk to me about, trading me to. It's like, that's what players I think want. And then, but it's just funny how it's a business and NBA teams really don't care if you could be a long-term 10-year, 12-year guy with the team, and they could just trade you in a heartbeat. It's funny like that.
Dude, especially with a team like ours right now. Yeah, dude. There's like maybe 3 players that are safe.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
So
it's. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, again, you listen to what he said, and it just kind of reeks of like, hey, I mean, let's be honest. Everything was in disarray last year. The coaching, the players, the GM, and not trading people when he should. The owner was a ghost, right? Like, so it's
just it was chaos.
It was chaos, dude. And clearly people were not getting talked to. You saw Dinwiddie let all his hair grow, like he looked like
he was trying to. Dinwiddie was sulky.
That was Dinwiddie's bum status. That was like, I don't give about shit. I'm letting my hair grow. I'm letting my beard grow out.
He was trying to get out of here bad, bro. He was. But
what happened as soon as he got to LA? He got a fresh haircut, fresh lineup on.
He look great now, right?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. What are your reactions to the media day? What are the highlights did you take from media day? And also, what are your thoughts on the season? We'll be having more videos drop on training camp later this week. But again, follow us on Twitter. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. Hit that like button, subscribe. We'll be back. Appreciate you all the support. And don't forget to type in netskingdom.net. We got articles dropping on netskingdom.net, so check those out. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back.
Peace.